Good morning. Today we have Professor Kristen Farioli. Hi, Professor Kristen. How are you doing?
Well, great, Passan, and I'm surprised that you pronounced correctly my name.
Thank you. I've been practicing for this.
Very good, very good.
I'm so glad having the opportunity to interview you, to share your experience in a very important and dynamic field in the banking sector, digital marketing.
Great.
Please introduce yourself and take us through your career journey.
All right. So, Professor Christian Farioli here. I am originally from Italy, even though I spent the last 15 years in Dubai. And actually, I launched the first digital marketing campaign in 2003. That was exactly 19 years ago. I was based in Dublin at the time. I was working for Oracle, the Fortune 500 company. And I realized that even a company like that, they were not doing any activity at all online to help getting clients. And that's why, because by nature, by study, I'm an IT engineer. So I research the topic, I research how can we get clients online, etc. And then I come out with few tactics, with few strategy that we start using back then. The same thing I've been doing ever since for the last 19 years.
That was back 2003?
Yes.
Okay. How do you perceive the importance of digital banking in the digital marketing in the banking sector?
Actually, that's a great question because banks are a little bit laggards in terms of adapting to new technology, to innovation, including digital marketing. And even 10, 11 years ago, when I was speaking at big conferences, I noticed that the majority of banks, they used to say that, look, like topics like social media is not good for us, it's not serious, it's for kids. So it took a long time to adapt to the new way of thinking, especially when you talk about marketing departments. Now it's something that it's mandatory. You cannot run a financial institution without digital marketing. It would be a total suicide.
How marketing strategies for banking products differ than any other kind of products?
So you get some limitation dictated by the central banks, by the compliance, by the regulation of the country and the banking sector itself. This is the major differences. So while in any market you can promote any product and services without any limitation, without any problem, etc., in the banking sector requires some good thought. Typically the legal department is also involved, compliance is involved, just to make sure that nothing wrong has been said.
This will affect the confirmation of the strategy itself, the regulations?
Yes, because some platform require, they're not so easy and some platform automatically comes out with messages. And this is something that cannot work in this kind of environment. So everything should be absolutely pre-approved in advance. But at the same time, in terms of strategy as well, some of the tactic works well. More than banking or not banking is different if we talk about consumer products or business products. Because B2B tactics, typically they use different platform, different strategy, different systems than B2C. So if you want to promote credit cards or personal loan, it's completely different than if you want to promote like POS or business loans. And the way that you approach the market, the way you approach clients, and the platform and the channels that you use to do that.
With all the trends arising in the field of digital marketing, like personalization and machine learning, which trend do you find, let me say, more influential on the customers of the banking sector?
Right. Now, I like that you introduced the concept of machine learning, which is kind of a very hot trend right now. At the same time, a lot of platforms, they are using already machine learning, even though the user itself or the bank itself is not even aware about it. So this is something that is already happening. But when you talk about the daily activity of the marketing department, banking, again, are taking a little bit of time to adapt to innovation. They are really waiting that everyone else has to do it before banking sector and financial institutions are also following it. I noticed this not only in Egypt, but even in the Middle East, in Dubai, and even in Europe, actually. So it's something that sector like the telecommunication sector are typically the most advanced. The one that understand the data, understand numbers, understand digital very well, and they're the one exploring this technology before everyone else. Then you see traditional businesses, and then you see financial institutions and healthcare, which is typically are a little bit the laggards in that.
Okay, maybe because you just said the regulations and the mandatories from the central bank, they are reluctant. I don't want to say reluctant, but they have to abide by this regulations.
That's true, and as well because there isn't enough education in the marketing department of the banking sectors, where typically marketing people from a bank, they are mostly bankers. And so, which means that they haven't seen other sectors. Okay. So they come from a sector a little bit behind. And that's why it's funny, something I explain, that in the insurance business in the United States, the top leading insurance companies, they typically don't hire marketers with experience in insurances. Okay. Because if you know everything in insurance and you hire somebody from another insurance company, it's not going to bring you any added value. Okay. So they hire people from different sector where they can bring a different perspective and different idea into the insurance market. So I think that banks should start more to consider this kind of approach.
Despite the importance of the marketing, of the digital marketing in banks, it's still associated with challenges. How can banks especially combat these challenges?
I mean, first of all, just learning a lot. Because marketing is, again, in the banking sector, is still tied to what used to work in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Which now, when you talk about digital, it's a completely different approach. A lot of, most of the tactics that used to be at the center of the marketing strategy of every financial institution back in the days, now they don't even work, they cannot be even offered. Okay. So it requires a completely redesign of their entire strategy A to Z. Okay. And we notice this because we see fintech much more advanced in digital marketing and strategic approach to come in the market and basically take over quite big chunk of spaces of big financial institutions.
Yes. Okay. Finally, we'd like you to share with us a successful story for a marketing strategy that saved a financial position for an organization or a bank which faced a destructive financial shock.
Right. Now, we just ended up recently from COVID, which was a moment that most of the businesses were suffering. Yes. Actually, except some of the healthcare facility, everyone else was suffering during those 2-3 years of COVID. And so many businesses, they struggled to stay afloat, and many of them went bankrupt. And actually, what we did is there was a huge organization with many different locations that they were suffering during COVID. We helped them restructuring the activity in a way that the services can be offered online, not necessarily offline. And basically, by doing that, we basically got back on track the business, which was about to collapse. Okay. And that was interesting because until we don't have a problem, we let things going as they are. Yes. We think we could plan for a better strategy. We could plan for a more innovative strategy, but we don't do it because things are working fine. You
used a marketing campaign?
As well, yes. Okay. And the entire business way of doing during COVID, a lot of organizations, they got forced to react. Yes. Instead of acting in advance, they were forced to react. And those that they did it properly, they were able to stay afloat. Those that they were not prepared at all, they were not ready to react, of course we know that they closed down the business. But this also was a big impulse for the innovation, as especially financial institutions. They're still tied to the old way of doing banking. But actually customers, they like to have a new way of doing banking. They got used to technology, like to open a Facebook account, it takes you 1 minute. And they maybe less. Maybe less. And they expect that any organization in the planet, including banks, they should also offer a similar service. But unfortunately, when it's not possible, when it's not happening, they feel a little bit frustrated.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much for your time and for the valuable information you shared. Thank you.
You're welcome, Hassan. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, guys.
You too. Thank you.